Hi guys, welcome. So today we have a short, fast-paced hip mobility flow. This flow will definitely be a little bit more energizing. It's a great way to start your day, loosen up your body if you're feeling a little stiff in the morning, or perhaps you want to try it before another workout, or maybe you just do it on its own as a way to find some movement for your body. So we'll be working with our hips, both with mobility and strengthening our hips today. Let's begin. We're going to find ourselves in a wide-legged child's pose to start. So have those knees apart, toes are together, touching at the back of your mat. And allow your hands to just walk out further on your mat. Pushing into those hands, allow your hips to really sink down towards those heels. And maybe walk those hands out a little bit further. And maybe we allow our forehead to drop down onto the mat. Finding your breath. Notice where you're holding any tension. We'll take one more inhale here. Exhale, push a little bit deeper into your child's pose. On the next inhale, come up to a tabletop position. Hands are below those shoulders, knees are below those hips, and begin to find any fluid movement here. Maybe you just turn your body side to side, or maybe you go ahead and drop those hips back to your heels, creating any fluid movement to warm up your spine and begin to loosen up the hips. And when you're ready, we can come back to a neutral position. And to start our warm-up here, let's go ahead and take 3 rounds of cat and cow. So on my inhale, I'm going to drop the belly, lift my chin, coming into cow. And as I exhale, I round my spine, tuck my chin to my chest. Inhale again for cow. Exhale, cat. One more time, we inhale for cow. And exhale, take your cat. Coming back into a neutral position. Moving into our bird dog here. Extend your right arm long in front of you. Left leg extends behind. We inhale to lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Make sure this hip is squared with my right hip. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow to hold here for 1 breath. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And then I invite you to bend your left knee and see if you can reach back on that exhale, maybe taking just a gentle stretch here if that's in your practice. And then we inhale, lengthen once more. Exhale, go ahead and plant that knee and hand down onto the mat. Same thing, opposite side. So extend your left arm long, right leg back. We inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow to hold for 1 breath. We inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Same thing. Maybe we try to bend that right knee. Reach that left arm back to get that foot on the inhale. And exhale, lengthen. And place that hand and knee down onto the mat. Before we move into our first downward dog, I invite you to take any more movement that you need, maybe a couple more rounds of cat and cow, maybe dropping those hips down to the heels, anything you need for 1 more breath. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale, tuck those toes, exhale, send it back for your first downward dog. All right, we inhale, maybe come up onto those tippy toes. Exhale, try to drop those heels to the mat. On empty, feet to hands at the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep all the way up. Exhale, Tadasana. All right, friends, let's move through our Surya Namaskar A 1 time through, and then we'll build on with our variations. All right, activate those feet at the top of your mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. We inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, take your vinyasa. Inhale for up dog or cobra. Exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Staying here for a few breaths. Keep breathing. We inhale, maybe come up onto those toes. Exhale, drop the heels to the mat. On empty, feet to hands at the top of the mat. We inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep over the head. Exhale, let out a big sigh. Tadasana. All right, friends, let's flow. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep that right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it on the outside of your right hand. On the next inhale, keep that left hand planted. We sweep that right arm open to the sky. Stay here on the exhale. Maybe take some wrist circles here if that feels okay. On the next inhale, drop that hand behind your ear, bending that elbow. We open up that chest a little bit. And on the exhale, drop that elbow on the inside of the right foot. Maybe tap it down if that feels okay. We inhale, open the chest, bring that elbow back up to the sky. Exhale, tap the elbow down to the mat. 2 more times. We inhale, open. Exhale, elbow down. Last time, inhale. And exhale, drop it down. We inhale, bring that arm back up, extend that arm out long. Exhale, plant the hand down onto the mat. Coming into a variation of our lizard pose here, we can go ahead and keep that hand planted on the mat, taking some gentle hip circles, first to the right and then move it over to the left. And if this feels good, stay here. If you want a little bit more, we're going to roll onto the outer edge of that right foot, coming down onto our forearms. We're only here for 2 breaths. Perhaps you take a block here to add some length to your body, if that feels good. We're here for 1 more breath in lizard. As we inhale, bring those hands back to the mat if they're not already there. Exhale, step that right foot back, coming into your chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Awesome job. We'll be moving onto the left side. Take 1 more breath here. All right, on the next inhale, sweep that left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it on the outside of that left hand. On the next inhale, sweep that left arm up to the sky. Exhale, stay here. Go ahead and take those wrist circles if that feels good. On the next inhale, bring that hand behind the left ear. We open the chest. Exhale, tap elbow to the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale, elbow taps to the mat. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time, we inhale. And exhale. Inhale, extend that arm back up to the sky. Exhale, plant that left hand down to the mat. Coming into our lizard pose on the left side. Go ahead and roll onto the outer edge of that left foot, taking some gentle hip circles here, both directions. And then if this feels good, stay here. If you want a little bit more, maybe you come down onto those forearms, again, just for 2 breaths. You can continue to take those gentle hip circles if that feels okay. 1 more breath. Inhale, plant those hands back onto the mat. Exhale, step that left foot back to meet the right. Take your vinyasa. We inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, let out a sigh. Downward facing dog. Inhale, maybe come up onto those toes. Exhale, drop the heels to the mat. On empty, feet to hands at the top of your mat. We inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, Tadasana. Awesome job, friends. All right, we're moving back to our right side. We inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back. Chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot sweeps up to the sky. Exhale, this time plant it between your hands. Drop that back left knee, untuck those toes. On the inhale, arms sweep up, overhead, sink a little deeper into that lunge. And then as we exhale, we're going to go ahead and straighten that front leg, flex the right foot, and hover over that leg. Inhale, we lunge, arms sweep up, sinking deeper this time. Exhale, straighten and hover. Hands can frame just outside your knee. However, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, maybe you sweep those arms back, airplane arms. Keep that right foot flexed. All right, we inhale back into our lunge. Exhale, straighten and hover. Here to hold for one breath. Stay on the exhale. Inhale, sweep those arms back up, sinking as deep as you can on this time. Exhale, plant those hands, framing the right foot. We tuck those left toes, step the right back to meet the left. Take your vinyasa. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Moving on to the left, find your breath. We inhale, left leg sweeps up to the sky. Exhale, step it through those hands. Drop that right knee down to the mat, untuck the right toes. On the next inhale, sweep those arms up to the sky, sinking into your hips here. Exhale, straighten the left leg and hover, flexing that left foot this time. Inhale back into our lunge, arms sweep up. Exhale, straighten and hover. Again, option to take those airplane arms if that feels good. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, straighten and hover to hold here for one breath. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, sweep those arms back up, sinking a little bit deeper this time into that lunge. Exhale, plant those hands, tuck the right toes, step that left foot back to meet the right, taking your vinyasa. Finding yourself in a downward facing dog. Pedal it out here. Find your breath. On empty, feet to hands at the top of your mat. We inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, Tadasana. All right, let's meet at the top of our mat. Again, feet hip width distance. Let's flow. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right side, we inhale, sweep that right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step that foot between your hands. Preparing for high crescent lunge. We inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, sink into your high crescent lunge. Staying here for 3 breaths. Sinking deeper on the exhale. Keep breathing here. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, we open our arms, warrior 2. Left foot turns 45 degrees. Staying here for 3 breaths. Sinking deeper on every exhale. Maybe you roll those shoulders up and back, opening up your chest. 2 more breaths here. You're doing awesome. On the next inhale, we're going to straighten that leg, turning the right foot to the side of the mat, bringing those arms up into our star pose. On the exhale, bring those hands to heart center, and we squat down into our left side skandasana. Staying here for 1 breath. Maybe that right foot is planted flat on the mat, or maybe we go ahead and flex that foot coming onto our heel. And the next inhale, we come back up to star pose. Exhale, turn the right foot to face the front of the mat again, coming back into our warrior two. Settling in here. One more breath. On the next inhale, reach that right hand forward, flip the palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Breathing here. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, go ahead and cartwheel those hands down to the mat, stepping that right foot back to meet the left, taking your vinyasa. We'll meet again in our downward facing dog to repeat that on the left side. All right, friends, on the next inhale, send that left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step that left foot through. Preparing for high crescent lunge. We inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, soften in here. We're here for 3 breaths. With every inhale, we lengthen the spine. And with every exhale, we sink in a little deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, go ahead and open to warrior two, shifting that back foot 45 degrees. We're here for 3 breaths. Gaze is at that front left hand. Again, maybe you roll those shoulders up and back, opening up your chest. On the next inhale, shift that left foot towards the side of the mat, bringing your arms up into star pose. Exhale, hands to heart center, drop it down, right side skandasana for 1 breath. Inhale. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Inhale, back to star. Exhale, warrior two. Breathing here, a couple more breaths. On the next inhale, reach that left hand forward, flip the palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale to lengthen here. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down, framing that left foot. Step it back, chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. We inhale, maybe come up onto those toes. Exhale, drop those heels down to the mat. On empty, feet to hands, top of your mat. We inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, release a sigh. Tadasana. I need to go ahead and take off my sweatshirt. I am boiling. All right, final standing sequence. Let's flow. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back, chaturanga. We inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep that right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through, setting up for our high lunge. We inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, sink a little deeper here. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we open, warrior two. Stay here for 1 breath. And on our next inhale, go ahead and turn that right foot to meet the side of the mat. Heels come in and we exhale here, sinking into our goddess pose. So I want my thighs parallel with the ground. If you can get there, arms can be in cactus, or maybe we bring the hands to heart center. Staying here for 3 breaths. Engage your core. Sink a little deeper on that exhale if that feels okay. Whew. My legs are on fire. 1 more breath here. Inhale, back to star. Exhale, warrior two. Maybe you have to shift your feet a little bit like I am. That's totally okay. Inhale, reach that right hand forward. Flip your palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down, framing that right foot, taking your chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll be moving on to our left side. All right, when you're ready, we inhale, sweep that left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through, setting up for high crescent lunge. We inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, sink in here. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, we open, warrior two. One breath here. And the next inhale, turn that left foot to meet the side of the mat. Heels come in. And as we exhale, we sink deeper into our goddess pose again for 3 breaths. Open that chest. Breathing here. 2 more. And the next inhale, straighten those legs, coming back into star pose. Exhale, back into our warrior two. Inhale, reach that left hand forward, flip the palm. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, maybe come up onto your toes. Exhale, drop those heels to the mat. On empty, feet to hands at the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweep those hands all the way up. Exhale, Tadasana. Okay, standing at the top of your mat. Feet are maybe touching the edges of your mat. Heels in, toes out. We inhale, arms sweep up. As you exhale, palms come together, dropping them down to heart center as we sink down into our Malasana squat. As you can see, my triceps are on the inner thighs. I'm pressing into all 4 corners of my feet. My crown and chest are lifted, and my goal is to aim my tailbone towards the floor. So I'm maybe tucking that tailbone in slightly if that feels okay. Again, if you have a block and you want a little extra support today, go ahead and place that right under your sits bones. Okay, so from our Malasana squat, find some gentle rocking movement side to side. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and plant that right hand down just in front of the right foot. We inhale, open up that chest, bringing that left arm to the sky. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Same thing left side. Plant that left hand down in front of your left foot. We inhale, open, sweeping that right arm up to the sky. Exhale, heart center. Let's take that 2 more times. Right hand comes down to the mat. We inhale, sweep the left open to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Left hand comes down. We inhale, open that right arm to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Last time through. Right hand down. We inhale, open. Exhale, heart center. Left hand comes down. We inhale, open. Exhale, heart center. From Malasana, we'll be moving on to our back. So I invite you to inhale, sweeping one arm up and around, planting it behind you, followed by the other arm until both hands meet the mat. You can drop your sits bones down to the mat. So moving on to our backs, I invite you to bring your hands behind your legs here, just above the knees, and slowly allow yourself to lower down onto the mat. Bringing those knees in, giving yourself a big squeeze. And then we'll go ahead and find a happy baby to end our practice today. So bringing those knees closer to the armpits. Arms are inside the knees, grabbing the outer edges of our feet. And allow yourself to find some playful movement here, rocking back and forth. And when you're ready, we'll bring those knees back into our chest and go ahead and grab the area in the back of your leg here, finding some rocking and rolling motion. Coming into a seated position at the top of your mat. Be in Sukhasana, cross-legged. Let's inhale, sweep those arms overhead, gaze between the fingers. Exhale, drop those hands down to your heart center. Thank you so much for joining me for our hip mobility flow today. I really hope that you feel energized and more awake and ready to move throughout your day a little bit more fluidly. So thank you again. And as always, I'd love to end my class by saying namaste. So as we inhale, we can go ahead and bring those thumb knuckles to our third eye center. As we exhale, bow forward, and together we say namaste. Thank you.